It's ostensibly a pattern plane, but don't sleep on it. This thing can tumble with the best of them. Hey there, I'm John. This is Two Brothers RC, and this is the E-flite Sportix. Horizon sent this plane to me almost a year ago, so we'll call this the year in review, because I flew it about 30 times between last November and today. Before we get into the agility section, let's start by giving you my actual opinion of the Sportix. This is a pattern plane that somehow flies 3D really well. It handles most 3D maneuvers and it's really stable, even if you throw a battery all the way to the back of the plane, which I did by accident one time. The tumbles you can do with this thing defy belief. It's an amazing flying plane with a lot of great touches like soft wheels, lights, good servos, high quality foam and paint, and decals instead of stickers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one's going to be a high scoring plane, but I haven't finished writing this yet, so we'll find out what the score is together. So let's dive into it and see how it stacks up to the no patent pending Two Brothers review system for small 3D planes. Yes, you heard me, 3D planes. It actually flies better 3D than some purpose-built 3D planes, so that's what we're going to score it with today. Moving into the maneuverability section, first, the Sportix is not prone to accelerated stalls, meaning that it's not going to drop a wing while you're pushing it around really hard. It's very tough to get it to bite you. I'm even flying it on an aft center of gravity and it's just a breeze to fly. It passes this checkpoint. We now check and see if it doesn't fight 3D inputs, and unfortunately it does because it's not a 3D plane, but because also it requires a ton of work to hover this thing, and sometimes it wants to bite you, literally, when it hovers. Don't try this one at home. Not that you're supposed to fly this thing 3D at all, but I don't have a pattern plane metric, so the 3D ones are gonna have to do. It fails this checkpoint as a result. Does it have high thrust? Absolutely. It is incredibly fast for what it is, and a 4-cell Spectrum 2200 will make this thing rip around so fast it's almost scary. It passes here too. Harriers are free of wing rock if you get the angle of attack just right, and it takes a bit of work, but it is doable. Inverted is perfect with no wing rock at all. It's very easy to control and it looks awesome too. It passes here as well. It is oddly, somehow XA capable, meaning that it performs ridiculous pop-tops, crankshafts, and other assorted tumbles that I'm just unable to believe even though I flew it and I'm watching it on the screen with you. It's just nuts. It passes here too for a total score of 4 out of 5. Moving into the flight time category, what we're looking for here from a plane in the 900mm to 1300mm category is to fly at least 7 minutes to score perfectly. And that's what Sportix does. Even with aggressive 3D flying, I found myself not having any difficulty hitting 7 minutes on average. My best flight overall was 8 minutes. This is a plane that'll let you fly for a long time and have a ton of fun doing it too. It passes here with a 5 out of 5. Moving into the landing gear section of this review, we're now checking the landing gear. And not only do the wheels function, which continues to be an ultra-low bar that it hops over easily, they're not hard wheels. That's super rare, so it passes here. Look at the squish you can get out of them. That's awesome. Precisely what you need to avoid transferring stress to the airframe. This is why I check for hard wheels, because hard wheels can't deform, so they'll send the shock right up to the fuselage mounts, which is terrible for model aircraft. The suspension is stiff, which is exactly what you want for a 3D style airplane, even though, again, This is not a 3D airplane. It's just so capable of 3D that I'd be doing it a disservice to not rate it against the 3D metrics. Now, look at this series of intentionally rough landings and see why the stiff suspension is a checkpoint on our metrics for 3D planes. I'm banging this thing around on purpose, and normally I don't want stiff suspension on any plane, but a 3D plane needs to avoid prop strikes, and the only way to do that is with stiff suspension. Sportix does this exceptionally well. Now, if you insist on landing it like you just dropped a dumpster out of a 10-story building, you can't really blame anyone but yourself if the plane breaks. Anyhow, it passes here. The gear are lightweight, which passes, and being simple metal struts with a couple of wheels attached to them makes them also require low maintenance, so the Sportix passes here too with a total and very uncommon score of 5 out of 5. Before we move on to the fit and finish and avionics sections, consider scrolling down a little and hit that like button for me. If you're not already subscribed to Two Brothers RC, please definitely consider it. And if you're not part of our Discord chat server community yet, hop down to the description below, join up, and chat airplanes with us. Moving into the fit and finish section, we're now going to take a closer look at the aircraft and its overall aesthetics. I'm not going to judge it based on how it looks, but rather by a set of 5 criteria that work for small 3D planes. So, starting off, we check and see if the paint adheres to the airframe, and it most certainly does. The factory making this plane also appears to make the Super Timber and the Habu XS, both of which have a similar high-quality paint job, though the airplane isn't fully painted. I don't look for that with 3D planes because we're more concerned with weight when it comes to 3D flying, so there is bare foam where the plane is meant to be white, but I think that's okay. Your opinion, however, should determine whether that matters to you. It passes the first checkpoint. The linkages are very high quality for a bind-and-fly aircraft, with thick push rods connected to long servo arms and really nice ball linkages that you can adjust with a 2mm hex driver. That's a pass for sure. The foam is EPO, which is pretty typical and makes it very durable. The hard landings earlier only resulted in a little bit of foam compression on the belly. That's definitely a pass. Is it easy to assemble? Absolutely. The wing tube can be stored internally and the wing bolts are twist lock mechanisms that are simple to engage once you plug both wings in. Each wing has quick connects, so all you do is plug in the wing, push in and turn the twist locks, and you're done. Awesome. It passes here too. It also features plastic hinges on all of the control surfaces, which is why I can throw it around like a 3D plane without worrying about it disintegrating. And it passes yet again for a final score of 5 out of 5. Our final checklist here is avionics and lighting, and we'll be looking at the aircraft's servo quality, whether the battery gets airflow, the ESC quality, the motor mount, and whether you can adjust the position of the battery. First up, let's look at the servos. They're not only fast, they're precise, they're metal, and they come with servo doors, which is something I'm seeing way more often from Horizon airplanes, which I find very awesome. If the servos ever die, or if you just want to replace them for any reason, you can unscrew the doors with a 1.5mm hex driver and install a new servo. It's way better than having to rip a servo out of the foam. It passes both checkpoints here. The battery does get airflow, which is forced over the motor and through the fuselage via the front air intakes. This is super useful for hard flying in summer, which passes, and leads us to our next point. There are no overheating issues with the ESC, which is a Spectrum Avian 45 amp light ESC. In this context, light means that it doesn't have the ability to change the servo power to a different voltage, nor does it support smart battery telemetry, like per cell voltage, outside of the normal voltage report for the entire pack. So you do get total pack voltage, you just don't get per cell voltage. I flew this in both winter and summer and saw zero issues with overheating, no matter how hard I flew the plane. It passes here, too. The motor mount appears to be very well designed, being embedded in the fuselage and capable of taking at least limited impacts, though, as always, you'll want to avoid impacts in the first place to maintain aircraft longevity. The Sportix passes here, too, for a total score of 5 out of 5. And there you have it! The E-flite Sportix scores a grand total of 24 out of 25. That's a really outstanding score for a pattern plane being judged against small 3D aircraft metrics. In fact, I'd say that's phenomenal. Like, seriously, I've flown dedicated 3D planes that fly 3D worse than this thing does. I'll let you guess which ones I'm talking about. This plane is a joy to fly. It's not hard to fly for anyone who's already used to flying anything, and it's not expensive either. You get 2 planes for the price of 1. You can fly it tame and pattern-like, or you can unleash this thing with max throws and toss it around. I think way too many people slept on this one thinking it was more boring than it actually is. I'd even go as far to say that it would be a fantastic 3D trainer, because if you can hover this thing, you can hover anything. Pick it up via the affiliate link below if you like it and want to support what we do here at Two Brothers RC. And if you really want to help out even more, consider being a channel member. Speaking of, huge thanks goes out to our channel members on twobrosrc.com/supporters, and a very special thanks goes out to our mega fans, Sarasota RC Squadron, Michael Smith, JR Man, Todd, and a newcomer, N411X. Along with our Ultra fans, Seahawk92 and TBRC fan. You guys kick so much ass. Coming up soon will be the 1-year and absolutely final look at the Freewing F-16 90mm version 2. I say final because this wasn't the only time it crashed. See you guys next week.
Expect that. Nope.